On the day the bus brought the gall wasp in, I was in my cell fashioning a Glock Dookie out of a toothpaste tube that I planned on shooting a guard with. I had an empty tube and I was filling it up with my own piss and shit. I stirred the mixture in a milk carton, agitating it until it turned into a beige paste.
Are you sure this is the place? Ben asked. I just followed what Tita Baby told me to pin on the map, Sherry answered. They stood in front of the door of a quaint house on a gated street, a study in mixed class lined with 80s mansions that gave way to modern minimalist homes, ending with rundown but otherwise well-kept middle-class row houses that dated back to the early 70s.
I just wanted you to know that I appreciate some good gore and violence in a story. And I can feel it a little bit, and I'm like, ugh, oh man. When you write gore and violence, is that something you write in your writing often?
I only write it when it's applicable. So not a lot of my writing is gore. And it's funny that you would describe it that way, because to me, when I think in words. So they all just appear as words to me.
Got it.
But the folklore is what I write about the most. So folklore, urban legends.
I write urban fiction and urban fantasy. That's what I write. Like, fictional situations in real settings where I'm from.
Yeah.
And is you do as well, mainly?
That's my favorite too, when you have a real situation and you build fiction around it. Like a what if. I loved your story. I love Glock Dookie. At first I was like, what's going on? And I'm like, why am I feeling things? Why do I feel so bad? And I like how it sounds so authentic, how where there's so many little details that in place that makes you feel like you're there. Where did that come from?
With writing, I feel as though I need everything to be authentic in the same way that rap music for rappers is authentic. They are rapping their experiences or the people around them's experience. So authenticity is very important. So if I haven't been through something, I got to go research it. I also go out and do research on the stuff I don't know, which was the insect. Did you have to do a lot of research, or is this stuff you already knew?
This is stuff that I've always been interested in, because I've been interested in folklore since I was a child. I grew up in the 80s, and here in the Philippines, or at least in Manila where I grew up, in the 80s, there wasn't much delineation between folklore and reality. So you go on TV, until now sometimes, you open the news and then you hear stories about a classroom full of children getting possessed by something an elemental that lived in the tree. So these things are common knowledge.
Those details, I think we owe our readers that when we write.
I totally agree. Like, I felt the same when I read your story. I also wanted to know, how did you find out about the gall wasp? It's so random.
The moment I saw this anthology, right, and what it was about, I immediately knew what I wanted to do. Like, the anthology made me think of it right then. But it made me definitely want to write an absurd story rather than scary, and I wanted to make it sad. If I were to travel to the Philippines, could I see one of those doctors, one of those witches, if I wanted to?
Um, if you know you can't, but if you look hard enough, you might. Because they're a real thing, but they're just hard to find, especially nowadays, since a lot of people don't believe in them anymore. I've always had this story running around in my mind for a long time, but I didn't know how to execute it properly. And when this anthology came out, I knew that I could merge, because the insect tag, or mambabarang in Filipino, it's a real thing. As I mentioned, if you come here looking for it, you might not find it, but if you ask hard enough, you might just meet one. So I thought that was perfect.